you look at this team now, they've won 8 of their last 10 going into this series with the Mets. And I asked you a question roughly a week ago, which was, if by the end of this series, the Phillies are within what, is it acceptable? And we had this conversation, like how much does this series matter? I went and got my coffee this morning. I turned on WIP, and within 2 seconds it was, is this a must-win series for the Philadelphia Phillies? And my answer to this now is no, it's not. And it will be annoying as all hell if this team does not win this series. But in the grand scheme of things, you have shaved off 5 and a half games over the last 8 days.
6
days.
This
thing even.
6 days. In the last 6 days, they've knocked off 5.5 games. Look, it wouldn't have been a must-win series unless they were still 5.5 games out, right? That would be the only way I'd sit there and go, okay, this is kind of must-win if you want to win the division. But even that is just the caveat on it. It wouldn't have been a must-win at all because they were still going to be in the playoff race. Nothing bothers me more than calling a series in June a must-win series. But the reality of it is, based off that conversation we had, they could get swept and be where
we deemed it to be acceptable, which is stay within 3 games out. Yeah, you could get swept, and we were thinking that was probably going to be the best case scenario, but not realizing that the Mets were going to get swept by the Rays and struggle in Atlanta. And by the way, the Braves are now up off the mat a little bit, and here they come. So, and then those 2 teams I think play for 4 next week. So Atlanta can really get back into this thing real quick if they stay hot. But I mean, look, it's a big series. It's a big series. It's a fun series. It's a series that is probably going to be wild. The stadium atmosphere is going to be electric. The Phillies certainly owe this team one. I think that these games are going to be met with a closer eye and more criticism and maybe more overreaction if it goes positively in the Phillies' favor. This is a great series, and it's so much fun. And the way that this division is just going up and down and up and down, it's been a total, it is a roller coaster. So it's awesome. Everyone should be fired up, ready to go, want blood, the whole deal. But if the Phillies lose 2 out of 3 this weekend, I know what's going to happen. We'll talk on the show and we'll poke them apart and stuff. And I think we'll probably do it with some nuance, but it's going to be, this team blows. This team sucks. See? And if the Phillies win this series, it's going to be like, Phils are all the way back. All the way back. Exercise the demons.
Do you think so?
I think if they sweep them, yeah. Yeah, if they sweep them, I do.
Because I still think even if they win the series 2 out of 3, I still think you'll get a lot of positivity, but I still think there will be that faction of people that say, well, let me see him do it in October.
Well, barring injury, right? Barring something catastrophic that really changes the dynamic of the roster, regardless of what happens this weekend, Monday, you're going to show up and say the starting pitching's really good. Even if they're not good this weekend, starting pitching's really good. They are very thin in the bullpen, and offensively, they have some holes. The reality of what they are and their ability to compete in October is not going to change in 3 games against the Mets this weekend. I know people don't want to hear that. And I'm not here to throw cold water on the excitement of the series, because again, I'm pretty amped up. So far as June baseball series go, I'm all in. This is a big one. But again, it is about October, and you're not going to learn anything about October this weekend, one way or the other. You're just not. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100% about that. And it's funny because I know everybody's amped up. When my boys never ask me for Phillies tickets, never say, Dad, can you get tickets? They never do. They're adults. They're on their own. They usually get their own thing, whatever. I got a text message after the Mets lost last night. Dad, you think you can grab 2 tickets for tomorrow? Yeah. So I know if they're excited for something like that, I know that's probably what the overarching feeling is of fans in this town.
Yeah, and look, I get it. It's warranted. It's fun. It's exciting. And I am really interested to see what the Phillies have for the Mets this weekend. From a narrative standpoint, from a fan feeling standpoint, it's quite large. It's going to be a lot of fun and to kind of see where this thing goes. I don't know where you want to start this morning. I think I'm still in a state of shock over what we've seen in the division over the last week. I mean, I did say I've pumped up the Mets. I know I kind of turned into the cooler on them a little bit here. But I did say I thought that they were in a tough situational spot in their schedule. Like, you run through all the cupcakes, you play the Rockies twice, you play the White Sox, you get the Dodgers JV starting pitchers out in LA for 4 games. They inflate the record, they get up to 20 games over. And then I said, this gets a little tough though now, because Tampa can play a little bit. And then you have a desperate Braves team, and we saw how that played out. Now you have the Phillies here that want to owe the Mets one a little bit at Citizens Bank Park this weekend. And then you have the Braves again, still desperate, now playing with some momentum, trying to claw their way back into the playoff picture once they leave Philadelphia. It's a tough spot for the Mets. But it's not just, they're playing better teams and they're cooling off and coming back to the norm. It's just that the starting pitching, which has been a strength, a significant strength of that team for the bulk of this season, it's starting to thin out now with Senga down and McGill down. Like, it's getting a little bit dicey now for this Mets team.